Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Friday. It's about, I think it's about 10:30 in the morning. Nice day today. It's a little cool. It was cold last night. When I got up this morning, it started coming in. The temperature in the showing on the car was about 23 degrees Celsius, and which is cold for me. You know, I'm kind of shivering, but you know, it's nice. And the AQI today is not real good. It's about 145, and you can see a little bit of smoke in the air. So it is what it is. Smoke season's coming. Let's hope this year it's not you know, it's not too bad where we have to vacate the premises and go someplace else. But I'm on the northeast corner of the moat now, and I'm going to walk south and walk in one of the soys down here and just kind of walk around a little bit. And I've got a story to you that was relayed to me by one of my friends, and it's kind of an interesting story, and it's a little bit informative, and I really wasn't going to tell it, but based on a couple conversations that I've had over the last couple of days and some emails I got, it might be a good idea to tell the story and, you know, take it for what it's worth. This guy looks like he's working on refrigeration stuff. We'll walk south here and then head down one of the streets here. A couple of cafes here, guys enjoying their coffee, and a lot of traffic out moving around today. Basically, I just a bike shop here. Pulled into the first place I could find a parking space. Now that's neat. 21,000 baht for an electric scooter. I don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. Here's those off-road bikes. Huh. I've seen a couple of those that are electric. I'm not ready for an electric bike yet either. But I think we'll go down here. Here's a lady making pocketbooks. Hello. Swadee Kap. She's got all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I want some bags here. I think we'll make a left here and see where that takes us. I've been down here before, but things are changing so rapidly here that, you know, it's nice to show you something a little bit different. We're on right there, Sherpum Road, Lane 1, and we'll go left here. The story I'm going to tell you today, like I said, it was relayed to me by a friend of mine that pretty much had firsthand knowledge of it. He knew a guy that had come from the States. He was about 68, 69 years old, and he'd come here and retired, and was on Social Security and had a small pension that he was living off. And he was living, you know, he's living good, and he was single, and just had himself a small apartment. I've eaten here before. It's closed down, but they used to have pretty decent sandwiches here. But he had been here for 2 or 3 years, and, you know, just enjoying life, you know, living, you know, in his small apartment, and, you know, going out at night and eating, and, you know, made friends and leading a pretty happy life. And, you know, he had a decent income and had a little bit of savings, and, you know, just enjoying the single life. Well, after about a couple years, he, you know, he's made friends with a lot of people. He goes over to one of his friends' house for dinner, and who was married. Oh, that's pretty neat. The artwork going up. They must. Oh, I must go to these apartments up here. Huh. But, and that's common, you know, a lot of times you'll make friends and people and their wives, and, you know, they'll have dinners and stuff and invite you over. He went to one, and he meets a lady, and she's in her mid-50s. She was friends of the wife of one of his friends. That's kind of a neat way to cover a bike. And she had a government job, a real respectable person, very friendly and, you know, attractive. And, you know, they got to talking, and it seemed to get along real well. And after the dinner, you know, they exchanged phone numbers, and he called her a few times, and I guess they went out to dinner, and, you know, the normal things that a couple do. She, apparently she lived in government housing, which, you know, it's not uncommon. If a person works for the government, they generally, most government agencies furnish some type of housing. And, hello. She's cooking noodles. Yeah. Just pad thai, suki, all kinds of stuff here. We're gonna keep going this way. Raddos Cafe. Now, I have been in here one time with a friend of mine, but I'm not sure it's owned by the same people now. And then you got Taiwan. I've had burgers in there before, not bad. But you know, they date, and then, you know, they're getting along real fine. And he wants her to move in with him into his apartment. And you know, she's not objective to it, but she's a traditional Thai woman, and she doesn't want to move in with him unless they get married. Well, you know, he's happy with her, so, you know, he agrees to it. So they have, you know, just the basic Thai wedding, you know, where the monk comes and ties the strings around your hand, says some stuff, and you know, that's, you know, you have a few friends come and they pour water on your hands and all that good stuff. And not a large traditional Thai wedding where you have a bunch of guests and stuff, but just enough to satisfy her needs of being married and being able to move in with him. So they do that, and they're getting along fine. She's, you know, she's happy, he's happy, and you know, there's no money issues or anything like that. They pretty much split all the bills and stuff, and they're both very happy, and they're getting along real well. And she's, you know, a respectable person. She's not after his money or anything like that. And they go on and living like that for probably a couple of years. And you know, they're traveling together, and I don't know whether she had a car or they bought a car. I don't really know what the story was there. He didn't really say, but they ended up buying a house together. They pooled their money together and bought a house. And I'm the first person to say that, you know, you'll hear a lot of people say, you know, don't buy property here, don't buy a house, and, you know, don't do things like that because you can't own it. Well, you know, if you're in the right relationship, you may not be buying it for yourself, but, you know, you've got to think about your partner's future. And hello. You know, buying a house is not it's not something that is out of the question. I mean, you know, I've bought 2 houses. I don't regret it, and you know, I know when I die that Leck will have a nice place to live that's paid for, and give her a little bit of stability. So, you've got to think about those things. And, being the age differences, I would hate to kick the bucket tomorrow and be thinking about, what's she going to do after I'm gone. And I think that was kind of in his mind too, from the way that it was explained to me. Well, they buy the house, and naturally he can't own it, and puts it in her name, which, like I said, it's no big deal. I mean, you know what you're doing, you know what you're getting yourself into, and I think for me it's kind of an admirable thing to do. You can be self-centered and just think about yourself, but when you do something like that, you're thinking about your partner, and you're thinking about yourself and the life that you're providing. So I don't really think it's a bad idea, and he didn't either. They say that I've had breakfast in here before, and it's very good. One of the subscribers begged me to come in here and eat, and I did, and I was very happy with it. Thank you. We'll keep going south here. But, things were going good. They were taking trips together and, just getting along real well. She had been married before, and her husband had died. And she had a son that lived in Bangkok that was in his mid-30s, and I guess he had a job. It didn't really say, but there was really no big issues there as well. But time went on, and about 4 years later, the unthinkable happens. She has an aneurysm and dies. And I'm sure he's beyond himself, and they have a funeral for her, and the son comes up from Bangkok, and he no big issues or anything. He doesn't think anything about it. And, he's pretty tore up. And after the funeral, everybody leaves, and he just pretty much goes on with his life. And he was on a retirement visa, so he didn't have to worry about changing his visa. I think I'll walk down this way, see where this goes. He didn't have to worry about changing his visa, and everything was pretty much hunky-dory there. And about 6 or 7 months later, the son shows up. And apparently, what the son had done is he had probated his mother's death, and the courts had awarded him everything that she owned, which included the car, the house, you name it. And hello, how you doing? Wow. I know I've walked through here before. So he shows up at the guy's door and basically tells him, hey, this is my stuff, and he's going to take possession of the house and her car and her bank accounts and you name it. Now, fortunately, from the way it was explained to me, they didn't have joint bank accounts. Had they had joint bank accounts, I don't know how that would have affected it. The laws are strange here. And I don't know whether he would have had a tie to it. Well, the guy's thinking, well, I'm married. Well, I'm married to her. So naturally, I'm entitled to something. Well, the problem was when they got married, they didn't register the marriage. All they did was have, all she wanted was something, to satisfy the fact that she was married to him. and having the monks come was sufficient. Well, they never registered the marriage. Had they have done that, he would have had standing, but he had basically nothing. He had no standing whatsoever. He went to a lawyer, explained everything to the lawyer, and when he told the lawyer, the lawyer basically said, "You're stung. I mean, there's nothing really that you could do." Now, me in that position, I would have made sure that anything that the son got wasn't going to be worth much, whether it meant destroying the house or, torching the car or whatever. I would have done something crazy. And and I'm kind of in the same situation, with the house that I've got with Lek, but the difference that we have done, our marriage is registered. And also, we have both done wills. Now, had he foreseen the future and they had done wills, she could have willed the house to him. Granted, he would have had to have sold it, within a year, or he could have put it in a Thai person's name. The other thing that could have happened, and this came up in a conversation I had with some people yesterday, is she could have signed over what they call a usfrukt, and I'll spell it for you. It's USFRUCT, and basically that is a lease, but it's a lifetime lease, and it gives the holder of the lease complete control of the property. The person that owns the property can die, and the property can be transferred, but the person who holds that particular lease still has the property. They can't kick you out. They can't sell. They can sell it, but that piece of paper. I'll wait till I get around this noise. We'll go out here to the left and make another left. But that piece of paper has total control of the property. If you have one of those, and they're good for the lifetime. Basically what you do is if you buy a piece of property and you have a usufruct, it gives you total control of the property, and nobody can take it away from you. If the person that owns the property dies, the person who inherits the property has to acknowledge that lease. So that is the safest way. Had there been a will, she could have willed him the house, but he would have had to had to sell it within a year. Had they been married and the marriage been registered, he would have been entitled to 50%. He would have got 50%, and then the remaining 50% would have been divided between her relatives, whether her mother, her father. I believe in this case her mother and father had passed away. Her brothers or whatever. It would have been divided equally, and he would have gotten a share of that as well, being that he was the husband. But being there was no will, they weren't technically legally married. He had no standing, none at all. So, that's the things that you have to look into. Now, like I said, this is being told to me, but I have read stories of this happening before. The wife dies and the husband's left high and dry. So, if you get yourself into that situation, make sure that you have a backup plan. Definitely have a will. you know, and at least you've got some kind of protection. Now, that usufruct, as far as protecting you, say you're married and you buy a house. I will hang a left here. Let's see if we have a street sign here so I can show y'all. A lady carrying her dogs. That's the one thing I miss the most is not having a dog. When my dog died back in 2014, I've not replaced her, and it really has left an empty spot in my heart. But until I stop traveling, I don't think it's fair to have a dog. I don't want to kennel her. But if you're married and you buy a house and your wife signs over the usufruct to you and you get a divorce and you think, well, I've got the usufruct, you know, I've got the house. The courts have ruled that if the usufruct was written during the marriage, it's invalid. So it's not going to protect you in the course of a divorce. But it will protect you if she dies and you need to keep the house. You know, hey, that's cute. Happy New Year. Pretty cool. Neat little bar here. Just got a little place to sit in there. Huh. Can I come in and video? Yeah, she says it's okay. This is neat. Hello.
Hello.
I have a YouTube channel. I'm going to put your place on YouTube, okay?
Okay.
Hmm? Culture bar. This is really cool. Army. Were you in the Army? Ah. There he is getting a medal put on him. Wow. You got some neat stuff in here. There's a $20 bill. I haven't seen one of those in years. Huh. Neat little place you've got here. Thank you. That is pretty cool. It's got all kinds of stuff up here on the ceiling. I've been by here before, but I never stopped in. Thank you. Well, anyway, we'll keep walking down this way. But yeah, it won't protect you in a divorce. You're basically at the mercy of the courts. And lately, the rulings have been that I have seen and read about. You know, it always used to be that the wife would get, you always thought that the wife would get the house, but lately the courts have been, if you can prove that the money was brought in from outside the U.S. and you put all the money into the house, there was a case not too long ago where, hello, where the husband, after 6 years of battling in court, got the house. Now, what he'll do with it now, he'll have to sell it or put it in a Thai person's name. But you know, it is what it is, and you know. But you need to be aware of these situations. Nobody ever thinks that. Nobody ever plans for somebody dying. Hello. But it happens. But that was one of the first things that a little kid doing her job here. Hello. Hi. More people behind me. Make sure I don't get run over. This is a neat little temple over to the right. It's called think it's ready. What Chiang Mai? I will walk over here. You got a body repair shop right across the street. But you know, the thing that you have to do is you have to expect the unexpected. And you have to think of every scenario to protect yourself as best that you can. And I wonder if that lady knows how unbecoming that is. Oh gosh. But you know, you just never know what's going to happen. And like with Lek and myself, you know, we've got cross wills. If I die, everything that I have goes to her, and everything that she has goes to me, including, you know, what to do with her remains. Me, I basically told her I really don't care. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. It doesn't really matter to me. This is a really pretty temple. Now I'm not sure. I'm gonna walk down this way. There's a little soy down here that you can walk down. There's some birds up on the. This guy that puts his birds up on the wall, and they're real cool. They'll say hello in about 3 or 4 different languages. I hope they're out. If they're out, I'll show them to you. But that's, you know, that's the main thing. And I would advise anybody, if you're going to buy a house here, or you're going to go into a land deal, or you're going to do anything like that, is talk to a reputable lawyer and know what your options are. And make sure that all the T's and all the I's and everything else is dotted. Well, that cat's got it made. Because the last thing that you want to have happen is your rug, you know, jerked right out from under you. Now this guy basically, he had no recourse. There was absolutely nothing he could do. He was, you know, he just between a rock and a hard spot. He had to walk away from everything. And it's probably not a good feeling. Let's see, we'll turn right down here. I'm just saying, if that happened to me and I was left in that situation, they better bring an army to get me out, because I'm not going to go without screaming and fighting. Or I'd make sure that if I had to move out, that the house would have to be totally remodeled after I left. And then I'd get out of the country, because being that I did own it, I'd probably end up in jail. Hello. Now these birds are usually up here on the right. I hope they're up there. I can hear them. Yeah, there they are. She's usually got 2 cages out. Yeah, they're there. There's one of them anyway. Yeah, there they are. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
That is so cute. See if this guy will talk. Swadee Kap. Oh, that's funny. That's a good one. I've not heard him do that one before. He's laughing at the frang. And there's some more birds over here. Pretty birds. And you get your pigeons down there catching the feed. But yeah, definitely protect yourself and hire a lawyer. Get advice. And you know, this woman, she was not out to scam him by any means. But they just didn't think. They didn't think of what would happen. You know, at 55, 60 years old, you really don't expect to have an aneurysm and just fall over dead. But it sure did happen, and it left him in a terrible situation. And you know, my friend didn't know whatever happened to him after that, but I would assume that you know, life went on, but I'm sure he was a little bit more careful after that. That's a neat little area back here. Oh, that's cool. All right, you can't see it because of the sun shining. Chiang Mai residence. We'll walk down this way just a little bit. Junior house. Pigeons and they having their dinner. Apartments back there and a little mom and pop store right here. Well, I'm going to close out the video. Hello. And head back towards the car. We'll see you on the next one. Appreciate y'all coming in. Bye-bye.